An armada of merchant ships lay at anchor in the bays surrounding Singapore, the busiest container port in the world. And this is the most visual example of how this vibrant island powerhouse is suffering in the economic downturn. Many are lying idle without cargo. Some have been waiting for months. Southeast Asia's leading economy is based on the service sectors pegged closely to the fate of the United States, and that is something outside of its control. The shipping container industry is incredibly important for Singapore's economy. The local Neptune Orient line, for example, is one of the world's biggest cargo carriers, but that's suffering huge losses and a 20% drop in business, an indicator of just how much the Singapore economy is suffering in this global downturn. Most of these containers are destined to be shipped abroad. Many are empty. A third of the port's cranes are standing idle, just part of the massive blow which is seen across the board. Singapore suffered its worst recession since independence 44 years ago.
Trade to GDP ratio is among the highest in the world, about 2.5 times the size of the economy. So when global trade is growing, Singapore will benefit enormously, as it done so the past couple of years when we had GDP growth for the whole economy, the whole world growing well above trend. This time, global economy is in recession and Singapore will be hardest hit.
In the not-so-plush apartment blocks of Singapore's working class, ordinary people are beginning to feel the financial squeeze. They have to cope with a shrinking job market, stalled salaries and rising prices. Pushpa Pillai is one of the Singaporean victims. She lost her job when the downturn caused her foreign company to close. She has been retrenched, but at 48 years of age has been unable to find a job.
Depend on my children, what they give me, I must cut down my household things lah. No, don't spend so much, don't go outside and eat, just cook at home and eat anything what you have. And you can save some money to pay the house.
Others are suffering too. At this food kitchen run by the Singapore Buddhist Lodge, 1,000 people a day come for free meals, an increase of nearly 50% since last year. Most of the population have been cushioned. The government has been saving for such a downturn and has announced a $13 billion stimulus package to limit the effects. Measures include giving tax incentives to retain and create jobs, boosting training programs, welfare and income tax benefits, and cash handouts to lower-income workers. But the worst could be yet to come.
In terms of where Singapore can look forward to, it's really a global upturn. It doesn't come, then essentially demand for its own goods and services will shrink, and Singapore will essentially, continue to see a period of very, very weak, or even a period of contraction. How long that will last, we really don't know.
An uncertain time for the people and a country which has one of the best standards of living not just in Asia but in the world, a standard of living now under threat the longer the world's economy continues to suffer. Tony Birtley, Al Jazeera, Singapore.